Hello, everyone. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, right? Yep, 2025 at 8:41 a.m. in the morning. Well, I'm still tired. I'm still sleepy. So, um, my legs hurt. Well, I miss y'all, my supportive subscribers, but I think one person got offended at something that I said and is mad at me, and I've been feeling really down about it. I don't know if the person took me the wrong way, or took my intentions the wrong way, or took my words the wrong way. But, you know, but they have people who claim to be supportive, and then they go and watch all your videos and then look for an excuse or look for something or be hunting for something to justify betraying or turning against you. And then lie and say that they will never turn against you for any reason, or that they will never betray you, or that they will never go against you. But, excuse me. But, and then it's like they want to make sure try to put you out there to make you feel really bad, or try to manipulate for you to feel really bad, or they want to publicly shame you and manipulate for you to lose all your remaining supporters, and turn everybody else against you. And then they will swear up and down that they haven't joined the gang stalkers, but then they're up and friendly with your gang stalkers because they don't like something you said, fighting against the in-person stalkers, and they defend and agree with the in-person stalkers and get mad and call you shameful or disgraceful, or they offended or upset that when you had enough with the reactive abuse and been fighting and tired of the in-person or online stalkers. I've been depressed all week pretty much so far because of, that. But I mean, because of, I think I lost someone who I thought was a supporter. But I but if I mention names, the stalker's gonna be extra messy, very messy. But I don't know if I don't know if the person really did decide to stop supporting me, or if the person really did get offended at me. I don't know. But they would get very messy and super instigate. But so yesterday, like, I had certain plans with certain things. Um so basically, after I did the video yesterday morning before leaving the hotel, I excuse me, I had um ow, my toes hurt. Immediately after I got off the video, um I went back online in the hotel, took out an extra $40 out of my bank account, which left me with under $40 in the bank. So that made me kind of upset. But then eventually I got it back this morning. Excuse me, but yeah, so I wasn't intending or expecting to eat um lunch yesterday, since I haven't been eating much lunch, but I shouldn't have to get attacked by satanic stalkers for having 3 meals in one day. I mean, and it's like I shouldn't. I feel bad that I've been eating. I mean, skipping lunch just to appease them, and I shouldn't have to do stuff to appease them. And they say Candy thinks she's entitled to have 3 meals a day, and what? I mean, I thought that you're supposed to have 3 meals a day unless you're fasting or whatever. But and then they try to be very controlling with what I eat. They get the directives from my perp twin sister. While she's obese and overweight, and it crossed my mind and made me feel bad this morning when I went to use the bathroom about how she said, "Oh, I never saw a homeless person do food reviews." And then she did the rolling your eyes kind of emoji. And then fake narc ass phony Anthony try to say, "She is disgusting." You know, and I was thinking about, how people think. I mean, my twin sister, she thinks she can make her own rules and guidelines for me and try to boss and control me when she's the younger twin. Like one time it was like the beginning of 2017, and I tried to rent a car, and the customer service people were extra rude and trying to not let me rent a car, and they got mad at me for asking questions, and they hung up in my face. And then my twin sister's response was, "Oh, car rental is only for people who is supposed to only be for people who have a car." Who said that? Oh, she just didn't want me to have access to a car and driving. And then David Jane made it like I'm not supposed to be renting cars or driving, you know. But I haven't got to rent any car since 2017, before I became back homeless again, you know. But, you know, when I was at my last place in 2023, I only got to have that place for a month. But with them reducing my income, like my income would be too low for me to rent a car anyway. If I had the income that I have right now and had even Section 8 or whatever low income housing, um, that I wouldn't be able to have enough I wouldn't be able to have enough money to afford to rent a car. But yeah, so yesterday I had breakfast at the hotel. This hotel doesn't have breakfast. I had breakfast at the hotel, and I had lunch. I had Chinese food for lunch, and I had a little ice cream bar. Haagen Dazs. It was like, I think it had almonds, vanilla Swiss almond, but the ice cream bar, something like that, was really good. But hey, I think that Jamocha almond fudge ice cream bar from Baskin Robbins tastes way better. But Haagen Dazs has more pure ingredients, and less, like they have fewer ingredients, and they don't have the GMO and bad stuff, you know, They have more real or more natural ingredients with Haagen-Dazs, you know. But oh man, the Jamaican almond fudge ice cream bars. I think I find myself. I only tried them once, and I find them this past week, and I realized they're so addictive. But I can't afford to get them all the time, you know. But yeah. So I was upset. I was wondering why they took $40. $40 extra out. Well, they took me. I mean, they took $50 out for deposit, which is understandable. But then they took out another $40, and they said, "Oh, that's because you're late checkout." I'm like, but wait a minute, I'm a diamond member, you know. And then they said that. So I got the deposit back immediately when I checked out of the hotel, but I didn't get the $40 back until this morning, you know. So what happened was I almost was gonna come online and try to ask for help for another hotel, but because I felt like, well, damn, they robbed me out of $40 or whatever, you know, and I was gonna get another hotel night, but I ended up, um, you know, thankfully, well, without me even asking or having to ask, someone donated me $90. So then I didn't live stream yesterday afternoon or whatever. I just uploaded a little quick video of a perp walk video. Excuse me. And speaking of that, they had the homeless perp on a bike that seemed like he follows me everywhere. It's like, wait a minute, didn't I see that same homeless guy with the cleft lip? Didn't I see him homeless in Pensacola, Florida? And also, didn't I see him homeless in Greenville, South Carolina? I could be wrong, but I remember seeing someone that looked just like him in Greenville, South Carolina, and also Pensacola, Florida. And I think a little bit Mobile, Alabama when I was there too for a couple of weeks. So I could be wrong, but I thought I saw, is he following me everywhere? You know, but he was on a bike yesterday, and they've been having homeless perps follow me to certain places lately. Like, you know, excuse me, and he followed me to where to eat, you know, for lunch yesterday, and I saw him pay something with a credit card. How I know it's a credit card? I wasn't made to sign anything with my debit card. So when I saw him, he tapped the card and then he signed it. I'm like, that must be a credit card, you know. So if they got homeless people that can have credit cards and this and that, whatever, it ain't my business. But you perping and following me around. So yeah, I'm gonna make shit my business. But anyway, but um, yeah. So I ended up, you know, getting I got the help. Excuse me, excuse me, with the hotel after I ate lunch and then I had a snowball yesterday. And wow, it seemed like every time I go to this snowball thingy, it seemed like they change up the policies and the prices or whatever, The first time I went, I was able to pay cash and a $6 flat fee. Well, no, I'm sorry, I paid Venmo and a $6. No, it was $4 flat fee because I got the smallest one. It was a $4 flat fee. But That was the first time I had sour apple. It was green, and then yesterday I had pink lemonade flavor. I'm surprised I got the biggest one, and was surprised I kind of didn't like it. I thought about, well, what if I get the ice cream flavor. But I guess I haven't had many snowballs this summer. You know, I may have had like snowball like 3 or 4 times this summer. You know, but and and I didn't realize that they had a snowball stand close by this where I'm at, this hotel where I'm at now. You know, I was at a different hotel the night before last, and I enjoyed my peace and quiet. Except in the morning, that was housekeepers that was doing all that, door slamming and noise or whatever. Um, and they were Hispanic and didn't know English or didn't speak English really that much. But yeah, so I arrived here yesterday. Like when I was on the bus and they had a man yelling, an elderly man, like, and I was running for the bus because I was afraid that the buses were gonna pass me up and I was gonna miss the bus. And like, no way in hell am I supposed to wait in the hot heat for another 40 minutes or whatever, however long. It might have been more frequent than 40 minutes since it was weekday afternoon, but that man said, Slow down, don't run, that bus ain't going nowhere." I continued running anyway because of what happened a few Saturdays ago, and the bus company still never returned my call. So basically they did nothing about my complaint. But hey, the stalkers make fake complaints about me and I get handled right away. But they ignored my complaints, never came back to follow up or nothing. Lied and said 72 hours. I heard nothing for it's been a couple of weeks. From July 5th and now it's July 23rd. Yeah, like 18 days, still heard nothing. They did nothing about my complaints. But then so the man, the elderly man was yelling, "We about to go in the hood, y'all. We about to go in the hood. We about to go in the hood." You know, like, well, as old as he is, he acting like that. And then they had a homeless. I was listening to my songs, which was kind of rare, and a homeless perp bumped into me on purpose when the motherfucker should have and could have got off at the back door. Nothing was wrong with the back door, but he just wanted to walk and brush up against me with his dirty clothes. And I've had problems with him on other buses before, you know. So, but I came here and got got the room and got settled. I partially sprayed off my bags a little bit, got in the shower, took my shower, and I stocked up on the rubbing alcohol, and I needed more soap, so I got more soap, more of my soap that I like to use, um, and then um, you know, and I took my shower, and after I got out of the shower, I yeah, I ordered the because they were having heat advisories, yesterday and stuff, and I took my supplements yesterday, and the day before yesterday I took my supplements. So basically, the I ordered the you know, what I the toiletries, whatever I needed on Uber Eats, and the the driver was a perp, and I have a note saying, "Please do not put my bags or whatever on the floor." And she fake lightly knocked, and I hurried up and opened the door, and as I opened the door, she was putting my bags on the floor, and I looked at her like a little bit mad, why we like, and then she didn't give me eye contact, and she walked off and said, "Girl, please." And she looked like she was like under 25 years old. Like, how fucking disrespectful can you get? I'm 41, almost 42 years old. And she had me really highly upset. That was definitely a fucking perp. And you do stuff like that and then expect for a tip or have your hand out for a tip. That's why I don't give tips until after. But then if you doing that, you get nothing. You know, I was so upset I could have cried the way she treated me. And it's like, oh, this must be directed conversation from my short story that I wrote. Well, I didn't get much recognition with that one with the child, please. But you know how I hate when people refer to me as girl and little girl since I'm about to be 42 years old and they do it in a way that's condescending and disrespectful like she did. How is it I'm old enough to be your mother, but you addressing me as girl? How disrespectful is that? You know, and, you know, when I reported her on the app for, to a customer service person for, being disrespectful, and then it was a Hispanic lady that was a customer service representative. That victim blamed me and refused to help, and then said next time, you know, when stuff like this happens, just report it in the app. Well, I'm reporting it to you now. But then, they ask you the automated prompts to ask you if you're satisfied. I said no, I'm not satisfied. I did not get the help. And so thankfully it was another customer service person who handled it right away and said we blocked her from ever we blocked her from off the from ever doing Uber Eats with you ever again. I'm like, thank you so much. So he did the second person did a much better job. But I'm glad I got all the items that I needed. So I was so upset. And then, like, I haven't had pasta in a little while, and it's like these pasta dishes, unless you're getting a side item of like $7 or $8 of mac and cheese or whatever, that's like the size of a toddler. you know I mean, the toddler portion size, mac and cheese or whatever. Other than that, um if you get like these pasta dishes from these restaurants, they be like 23, 24, $25. I'm just joking saying 24, but 24, is how I say it. But so it's like I couldn't afford, any, you know, pasta dishes. I wanted some, even if it was spaghetti and meat sauce. It didn't have to be lasagna. I just wanted something with pasta in it, even if it could have been mac and cheese or something. And one place that had seafood pasta probably would have been a small portion, but it was $9. And I tried to get me some dessert. I was depressed. And but then um they returned my money and said that they're not doing they said that they're not doing any more orders. I didn't realize Uber Eats did not tell me that they were closing, you know. So I just, well, I couldn't find anything else I wanted on either Uber Eats or DoorDash because of what time it was. It was almost 8 o'clock. And then I have to pee so bad. But I know when I go use the bathroom, I'm afraid I'm going to forget where I left off at, but I'm going to be back.